How that a homeless man and his 2-year-old move into my apartment. Story time on how that a homeless man and his 2-year-old move into my apartment. And before you say anything to me, I didn't know that he was homeless. Okay, let's start with that. Let's start with the fact that I did not know that he was homeless before anybody says, "Oh my God, aren't you out here just dating bums?" Listen.
I mean, if he wasn't homeless, I don't think you would have to move him in. Am I tripping or is that correct? Like, I mean, if he had a home, why would he be moving in else? Whatever. But yeah, we got another. This one definitely gonna be dusty for sure. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all grab y'all water or whatever it is y'all doing. Y'all watch my videos, man. Come and rock with your boy. Hey, let's get to the video, fam.
I didn't know he was a bum till I found out he was a bum, okay? So, here's how this thing got started, right? I was working at this little daycare. Not going to tell you what daycare I was working at, but I was working at this little daycare, this little 24-hour thing, right? And I was like, not fresh, but like low-key a little fresh off of, not like I said, I wasn't fresh. It had been a couple months. It's fresh off a little relationship, and it was almost around Valentine's Day, right? So I'm working the desk. I'm at the school by myself, like I always am on a goddamn Sunday, right? At the school by myself, working, doing my big thing, right? Dad comes in because his child does indeed go to the daycare, or went to the daycare at that time. Dad comes in, and mind you, like I already always felt like Dad was low-key flirting with me, but I'm a nonchalant Aquarius. I don't really be giving a fuck about none of that shit, especially when I'm at work. When I'm at work, quit talking to me. I got a job to do, nigga. What you talking about? Sorry. But that is how I am. When I'm at work, I'm at work. Don't talk to me about nothing else, nothing personal, right? But for whatever reason, I don't know. Man, I don't know. I was having a good day, right? I was having a grand day. Dad walked. Fuck, that was a lot of seasoning. Dad walks in. Dad's like, hey, hello, good morning, you know, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Miss Shay, good morning. I'm like, hey, Mr. blah, blah, blah. Good morning, right? So then takes his baby back to the baby room, comes back up, and then he kind of just stands in the middle of the hallway. And I'm like, what's up? Like, what's up? You know, do you need something, Mr. T? You need something, right? He's like, yeah, you know, your number. You look really nice today. I would like to take you out. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You've been flirting with me for a little bit. I'll buy it. I'll give you the number, right? Gave him the number. Should have never did that shit. Should have never, ever done that shit. Never, right? Gave him the number. We're texting throughout the day. I got off at like 2 o'clock because I got there at 5. So just so happened he was picking his son up at the same time, kind of thing, right? He's like, you know, can I drop you off? I'm like, cool. Not stranger danger, because I am aware of who you are. People saw me leave with you, so if something happens to me, they know it's you. So I'm like, yeah, you can take me home, right? I didn't let him take me home. I let him drop me off in the apartments next to my apartments. I want him to know where I lived at, so I just let him drop me off close to it. So then we part our ways. He texts me and he's like, hey, do you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, you know, can I come smoke with you? And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't see why not. I'm like, I don't really see why not, you know? So he pulls up, and he also, like, at this point he was also like distributing it, you know? So he pulls up, he's like, you know, if you need a garden man, I can be that. And I'm like, you know what, you know, cool, because I don't really like going to the dispensaries. I'm gonna keep it hot with you. So all right, cool. So that's how that got started, right? So then I was like, after we smoked that little blunt, I was like, well, let me buy some off you so I could just have some. Because I ain't had none. So I'm like, let me just get some off you, right? He just gives it to me. Just gives it to me. But as we're smoking, he hit me with this. And I hate... First of all, I've always told my younger friends and just people in general ever around me before I met the man that I'm with right now. In my younger 20s, you could not run game on me, because I was running game on you 9 times out of 10. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. I was a game runner. I got 12 brothers. Be for real, okay?
Well, how you end up letting a homeless man move in with his kid? That since you're a game runner and you know everything, how did that happen? Like for real.
The game runner, so he thought he was running a game with me. No, babe, I'm running a game on you. Okay, so he hit me with this. I found this funny. Yes, I was high, but I still found this extremely amusing. Looks at me and says, "Oh, I can see you just got so much hurt and pain in your eyes. I want to take that away from you." And I'm looking at him like, boy, fuck out of my face, right? But to make a long story short on that part, right? So we smoke, he goes home, that's it. So the next day he's like, "Hey, can I come over, make you breakfast," kind of shit. And I'm like, cool, I don't feel like cooking, whatever. Let him come over, and then I forgot what happened in the middle of all of that good shit, right? But somehow we end up in a car, because he's like, "Oh, well, come with me to pick up my son," because his son was at the school. The school is a 24-hour, 7 days a week school. So it was probably like a Saturday. It was Saturday, he was like, "Come with me to pick up my son." I'm like, "All right, cool, whatever, go with him." But before we get to the school, he makes a stop at the place that he was living at, which once I got there and figured out, like, at this point is when I figured out he was homeless, because I was sitting in a car for like 20-30 minutes, and as I'm sitting in the car, I'm looking around, and I see this nigga like bringing baskets and tubs full of clothes to the car, and I'm like, story time on how a homeless man in his tree.
I bet she still gained some coochie. That'll be the one. I'm telling you, that's how it be. Hey, let's go to part 2.
Who told you to just come in here and rearrange it? Like, after he dropped me off type shit, he then comes back to the car and he's like, "That bitch tripping. She just put me out." And I'm like, who is that? Like, who was that, bro? Come to find out, it was just some white lady he found on Craigslist looking for a roommate. Said that the lady and her son was like stealing food from him and shit like that. None of that was really happening. He was the one in there stealing food, trying to fuck on that lady, and she wasn't trying to, like, it was a lot, okay? A lot. So he then looks at me and he's like, "Well, can me and my son, just spend the night till I figure out where we're gonna be at," right? And me, I said out loud, but also in my head, "Your son can stay," because his son was like a son to me. Like, when I was at work, that was my work baby. Like, that was my baby. Anybody who worked at that school with me at that time period knew that was my son, period, point blank. I could just tell that the baby needed some love, so I would always just go into the classroom. I'd always just go into the classroom, comb his hair, rub him down in lotion, wipe him up if I need to wipe him up, put him on some clean clothes. I would always just take care of the baby, right? So I'm like, your son can stay, but I'm not really comfortable with you staying because I don't really know you like that, right? But then at some point I gave in, and I'm like, that would be kind of fucked up for your son to be here and you not be here. So I'm like, yeah, cool. Y'all can bum on the couch, right? Y'all can bum on the couch. So after I said, yeah, y'all can bum on the couch, I literally said for the night. For the night. We get back to my house, this nigga start bringing in everything. He just bringing in all the baskets and the tubs of clothes, and I'm like, "What are you doing with that?" I said, "For the night, my guy." So he kind of just like forcefully moved his fucking self into my apartment, and then that very next day he's like, "Well, what's your address so I can have my mail sent here?"
If I got any females viewing this right now, please don't be that stupid. Just don't. Please. A homeless man you don't even know, move him in. Please, just don't do that. Go get him a hotel. Don't move nobody in your house you don't know. People be doing some crazy stuff, man.
I said, "You're not having your mail sent here. That's not what you're doing." Literally, he's like, "Well, we're in a relationship now, so I need you to put me on the lease so I can go to the office and pay the rent. I need to, have my mail switched in here." I said, "Sir, you're not doing any of that. Like, what do you mean?" I'm literally looking at him like, "My nigga, I just met you like 2 seconds ago." And for anybody asking, like, why did you let that man sleep on your couch? It was more so his son. Like I said, I really did care for his son, and that is really why I even considered letting them come in there, because the baby, I have a heart. Anybody for real, like, man, woman, anybody, I cannot see a child on the street or sleeping in a car. Like, that's just not something I can do. Especially if I can help it, that's really just not something I can do for real. So, actually, I think baby slept in the room with me because he didn't want to be around his dad for real. So, baby slept in the room with me. Dad was not allowed in their room for real. None of that was happening. None of that was happening. Your son can sleep in here, but your ass is on that couch, right?
For some reason, I don't think we get every aspect of the story. I think I would like to hear his side too, so we can get a full picture, because I just feel like it's a lot of missing pieces, if you know what I mean.
So that is what ended up happening. So I leave to go to work. The next morning. He drops me off. I didn't know that my sister let him back in there. So my sister let him back in. So by the time I get off work, I go back home. This nigga has reorganized my entire bedroom. And I'm looking around like, one nigga, who let you back in here? Two, nigga, who told you to just come in here and rearrange shit? He was like, well, I needed to, I needed to put me in, I was gonna say the kid's name. I needed to put me and baby T's stuff away, blah, blah, blah. And I'm literally looking at him like, who the fuck told you that is what you were doing today? I said the night. So literally he kind of just forcefully moved the fuck in my apartment, right? So at this point I'm like, all right, cool. Let me not be a dickhead just simply because of the baby. Let me not be a dickhead. We kind of like, it turned into, like I said, a little 2.5 month relationship. Turned into a little 2.5 month relationship. Shit was cool. He cooked it.
So now they're in a relationship. You know, hey, you see, she put that word in there. It became a 2-month relationship. So now y'all in a relationship. I mean, I'm telling you, it's some missing pieces. A lot we missing.
Dinner. He cooked dinner, picked me up and dropped me off for work, got me anything I asked for kind of shit. So, oh my God, what more can a girl ask for kind of thing, right? I didn't ask for any of that shit. And this is not even this, but this is what iced my cake, because he took me shopping, right? Took me shopping, bought me all of this shit, bought me these shoes that I literally have only ever worn 2 fucking times in my life, right? Bought me these shoes and then looked at me. We pulled up to the mall, and then he looked at me and was like, all right, you go in there and give me them shoes. I said, get you what, nigga? What are you talking about? Get you what? Get you what? There's one thing I don't do is buy a nigga shoes. A nigga shoes or anybody's shoes. I don't buy anybody's shoes. Fuck is you talking about? Let alone a grown ass man who's probably wearing a size fucking 12. Boy, you think I'm finna spend $500 on a pair of shoes? Are you out your rabbit ass mind? He was. He absolutely was out of his rabbit ass mind. And they have the nerve to have a fucking attitude, because I'm like, nigga, no, I'm not gonna go in there and spend $500 on a pair of shoes. He was like, well, we just said we was gonna get matching shoes. I said, no, you just said we was gonna get matching shoes. I don't really give a fuck about matching with anybody. I don't care. Like, after he dropped me off type shit, he didn't come.
Alright, we gotta go to part 3.
Shoes, I didn't really give it to him. He talking about, well, I just bought you all of that stuff. And I looked at him and said, and you can take it all back because I didn't ask you for any of it. And he looked at me and said, well, damn, I ain't never had a girl say take it back. So take it the fuck back. If you did it because you were expecting something in return and not out of the kindness of your heart, take it all back because I don't need it. And I can buy it myself anyway. And he's like, no, you keep it, blah, 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 right? Okay, whatever. So let's get into the nitty gritty of this story, because like I said, at this point, we're now in a relationship. I've gotten past all the other shit. We're now in a relationship, right? Or at least you thought. We're now in a relationship. One, he's like, I need you to turn. I should have seen that this was a red flag right away. Right away. He was like, I need you to turn on the location on you. He got me a tablet. He turned the location on the tablet. He's like, I need you to turn on your location on your phone, on your watch, and your AirPods. And I'm like, one, I can't do that on my AirPods, so what the fuck ever. But I ended up turning the location on my phone and my watch, right? So one night I caught him And I felt like I was with my ex-boyfriend because this was the kind of shit that I was doing with my ex-boyfriend. One night I caught him on the side of the bed, like going through my phone, or at least attempting to go through my phone because he felt as though I was cheating on him. I was. I'm not even gonna hold you. I absolutely was, because like I said, I had already planned on self-sabotaging after like 3 weeks of what the fuck is happening in here. I had already planned on self-sabotaging, so I wouldn't necessarily say that I was cheating, but I was indeed talking to my ex-boyfriend and any other nigga that I wanted to talk to, because we weren't really dating, you know. So hell yeah, no, I was indeed talking to anybody that I wanted to talk to, and that's exactly what I was doing. So
wait, hold on. So self-sabotaging is going to mess with a whole bunch of niggas? So in all the ways you can self-sabotage, you choose messing with niggas. You know what I'm saying? The first thing that comes to somebody's mind when you say, I'm about to self-sabotage, you don't think of, I'm finna go mess with a whole bunch of men or women, whatever. Like, that's not the first thing you think of when you think of self-sabotage, but her definition was, I'm finna mess with a lot of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she just used it as an excuse to mess with a bunch of niggas. Well, yeah, I'm done.
but I was a smart cheater, okay? I got rid of all of that shit. Couldn't find nothing. There was one time he did find something, and he flipped his shit. He was like, you're cheating on me, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at him like, okay. Okay. We got past that, right? The last time that did it for me, before I tell you that, hold on. Because I remember one day I got off work and I sat on the fucking couch because I didn't want to go in that room with him or his kid. I sat on the couch and he comes out there and he then proceeds to look at me and say, what are you doing? I said, sitting on the couch, watching TV. He then looks at me and says, so you're not going to act like a mom and go in there and give our son a bath? Nigga, that's your kid. That kid don't belong to me. What you talking about? Talk about you not acting like a mama. I'm not a mama. What the fuck is your problem? Huh? His mother is in Seattle. I'm not that baby mama. What are you talking about? Shit low-key set me off because I'm like, I had already walked into the door to my fucking candle holders. My dad had gotten me these like pink diamond candle holders for Christmas. And I had already walked into all of that fucking glass and diamonds scattered across my fucking living room floor. And I flipped the fuck out. And he's like, what's wrong with you? I said, because you let him break something my dad gave me or bought me for Christmas. Those shits were expensive and I have yet to even use them. This nigga looks me in my face and say, chill out, I thought they were toys. If there were no kids in this motherfucker before you and your son got here, why would you think those things were toys? What? Okay. Shit made me so bad. So then when he's talking about, you're not gonna go give our son a bath. Bitch, that's your son. Go give him a bath. What are you talking about? And I said that in the most polite way possible. You go give him a bath. I'm watching TV. What do you want from me, nigga? And then proceeded to that whole night. You're not being a good mom. You're not being a good mom because I'm not anybody's mother. What are you talking about, right? So the next red flag was he handed me his.
But she ain't tell him that. She telling us that. But she ain't tell him that I'm not the one. She ain't said that to him, guaranteed. You feel what I'm saying? That's why he feel like you the mother, because you gave off that impression. I mean, you moved him in. You feel me?
Son's phone and said, log into your iCloud. I looked at him and said, no. No. He then looks at me and says, why not? Because what the fuck am I logging into my iCloud for on your kid's phone so that you can see what the fuck I'm doing and who I'm talking to while I'm at work? I'm not a dumbass. You may think I am, but I am not. I am absolutely not. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And he was like, why? I said, because I'm not. Simple. And that was the end of that, right? So then he tried to like break into my fucking phone and I looked at him and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, well, I'm your boyfriend. I should be able to know what's going on your phone. I said, there's nothing going on my phone. There's no reason for you to have the password because I changed it. At first, he did have it, and I changed it. And you know, actually, to this day, this password has not been changed. It's still the same for that very reason. I changed it from my birthday to my mom's birthday. So he tried to like unlock my phone, and he was like, you changed your password? Yeah, I did. Because what the fuck are you doing? And I even said to him, I said, what is in my phone that you need to see that bad? He's like, well, I just need to make sure you're not cheating on me. And if I was, it really wouldn't give a goddamn. It really wouldn't matter. You don't belong to me anyway, nigga. So I let him go through it just to prove the point that I wasn't talking to anybody, even though I was. I let him go through it just to prove the point, right? Once he went through it and saw that there was nothing in, he's like, I'm sorry, damn, I should have really trusted you. You should have. You absolutely should have, but you didn't, right? Okay. So we get past all of that. Here is what ended the relationship, right? Because I know at this point y'all like, damn girl, you just talking in circles. About the shoes, I didn't really give a damn.
Alright, Paul.
The relationship. One night, so I used to nanny on Saturdays for this family, loved that family down. So after I nannied, I went to work. Not really Sunday? Saturday. Saturdays weren't really my days to work, but I still just went so that way Sunday I could just chill for real. So Saturday I locked myself in my boss's office, had the lights off, and I was just going to town, getting curriculum and shit like that down for the week, right? Mind you, nobody knew that I was in there. Nobody knew that I was in there except for the people that saw me come in. But at this point, it's about 9 o'clock. So everybody that saw me come in is no longer there. So graveyard is coming in at this point, and when I say this, the graveyard girl, and she'll probably see this video, I don't really give a fuck. The graveyard girl at the time did not like me, could not stand my motherfucking guts because I was her boss and I was telling her to do her fucking job. She hated my guts. But I said that to say that she didn't know I was there, right? I probably should have made myself known to her, but she didn't know I was there, so he gets to call in the school's phone. Mind you, like I said, I'm locked in my boss's office. I'm on the school's phone with a parent because he called, like this granddad called asking for like rates and time frames and age groups and things like that. So me, I'm just giving out good customer service, trying to, you know, talk to granddad, telling him pretty much like, hey, it would be better if you came in here. It is about 9 o'clock. I really can't give you this information over the phone. Can you come in here, right? So I can't hang up the phone from this customer to answer this phone for this nigga. So, and I wasn't going to. So I see him calling the school, but I'm obviously not answering it. So then he started calling my cell phone. I obviously still cannot answer that because I'm on the phone with this goddamn man answering his questions. So then when I finally do answer my cell phone, like he calls me and I'm done. So when I finally do answer my cell phone, the first thing I hear on the other end of the cell phone is, you're a lying ass, cheating ass, raggedy ass bitch. And I'm like, what? I'm a what? What are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm at work. He was like, yeah, he then proceeds to say, no, you left your tablet, your phone, and your watch at work, and you hopped that wall, and you over there fucking one of them niggas. Mind you, the area that this school was in was like crackhead city. I'm a bougie piece of something. So if you think I'm going, if you think I'm popping a wall for dick, you're crazy. 2, if you think I'm fucking on a crackhead, you're even more crazy. So I'm like, what the fuck are you talking?
You bougie, but you moved a homeless man in your home with his kid. People just be saying stuff. I ain't gonna lie. They just say stuff.
This one I have an attitude because when you call my phone calling me a lying ass stinky, like you done called me all out my name, and I really all kind of bitches. He done called me all out my name, all kinds of everything, right? And I'm literally standing in my boss's office like heart pounding. He's like, you're not at work. That girl answered the phone and said that you're not there. And I said, okay, so if I'm not at work, how am I talking to you from the school's phone right now? And that's when he proceeded to say, you left all your stuff there, hopped the wall, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking crazy, right? So then as I'm trying to explain to him, like, no, bro, she just got here. She didn't know that I was here. I literally stepped out of the office as I'm on the phone with him for her to see my face. And she's like, oh, you are here. He heard her say, oh, you are here. I'm sorry, I just told him you wasn't. He's hearing all of this, but I'm still a lying sack of fat bitches. And I'm like, okay. So now, at this point, after being called all of my name 3 more fucking times, now I have an attitude. Because at this point, not you sitting in my house telling me I'm a lying, cheating, fat bitch. And you're in my house. So I said, all right, bet, I got something for you. I wasn't supposed to get off till at least 12 o'clock. At least when I told myself I was going to be there till 12 o'clock. I said, bet, I got something for you. I wrapped all of that shit up, called myself an Uber, got my ass home, unlocked that door. I said, so I'm a lying, cheating, what now, nigga? Get out. Out. Immediately. Right now. Right now. Now. He looking at me like, no. No, baby, calm down. You tripping. I didn't say any of that. And I'm like, no, nigga, did you not just tell me I was a lying, fat, cheating motherfucker? Like, you just said all of that to me on this fucking phone. The phone that I paid the bill on. You just said all of that to me. So if I'm all of that, get your shit and get the fuck up out of here. Go. Immediately. And he was like, you gonna put me and my son out? I said, no, I'm gonna put your ass out. Your son can stay, but you can go since I'm cheating, right? Get the fuck up out of here. So then he proceeds to like kind of like barricade me in my room. He's like standing against the fucking door. And I looked at him and I said, I don't really give a fuck. If you're gonna put your hands on me, I'm gonna put my hands on you, and we just gonna be two fighting motherfuckers in here. That is, and I meant that. Disclaimer, he did not put his hands on me. He did not put his hands on me. But me being in that situation, like I've never been in something like that, so I thought he was gonna put his hands on me. So I did indeed get a little scared, but then I remembered that I had a little up under my mattress. So that didn't matter no more, right? So I'm like, okay. At this point, like, he's trying to talk to me. He's trying to take back everything he said at this point. And I'm like, nah, I don't really give a fuck. Go. So he wasn't trying to go nowhere, right? So I step outside, because he let me out the room. I step outside, make a phone call. The relationship. One night.
All right, part 5. I think this will be the last one.
Because shit could get really sticky really quick depending on who I call. So I'm like, but before I stepped outside and made this phone call, I looked at him in the face and I said, you got about 3 or 4 options, okay? I said, your first option is I call my dad and my brothers. Your second option is that I call.
What'd she say? Look here, now you got 3 or 4 options. Like, bro, you don't supposed to give them that many options. You're supposed to be like, you got 2 options. Either you leave, or I'll call somebody else and they make you leave. She said, you got 3 or 4 options here. How can you sound threatening giving them extra options? You can't do that. Don't even sound like that ain't gonna scare nobody. Listen here, you got 3 or 4 options, buddy. Come on, man.
My uncle and my cousins. Your third option is that I call the fucking police, and your fourth option is that you just leave peacefully by yourself. This nigga said, well, I'm not going nowhere, and set his ass on the couch. I said, all right, cool. So after he said, well, I'm not going nowhere, you fucking tripping, I didn't say none of that shit to you, blah, 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 right? I did say, oh, okay, you finna make me look like a crazy bitch. All right. Step outside. One, I did indeed call my dad, but my dad said, I'm gonna let you handle that, Doc. If you feel like you really need me, I'm already sitting in your apartment. I said, okay, bet, right? So then what do? At this point, me and my ex, we were still friends. Like, that was my dog. We were still friends, so I didn't want to really get my brothers or my dad involved for real because, yeah, I'm not going to tell you too much about my father or my brothers. But I want to get them involved because I'm like, I don't really need y'all to be going to jail. I don't. So, called my ex and his brother. Told my ex what was happening. This nigga, he was like, well, I'm like 20 minutes away. Just give me some time. I'm coming, right? 20 minutes turned into about 10 because that nigga ran from where he was, because where he was only down the street from my apartment. That nigga ran from where he was to my apartment, and he was there in about 10 fucking minutes. So I don't know if he ran that entire time or if he caught the bus or somebody dropped him off. But when he got there, he was hot, sweaty, but that nigga got there. He got there, and then shortly after, his brother pulled up, right? So I didn't tell T, the one that was in the house, I didn't tell him who either of these dudes was. I just said, walk back in the house, and I said, all right, so cool, my brothers are here to help you get your shit, right? So then he like begging and pleading with my brothers, like begging and pleading with my brothers, like, nah, I'm sorry, y'all sister just tripping. She on her period. She, you know, she tripping. And I'm like, I'm tripping, not knowing that I already told my ex and his brother what had happened. So at this point, my ex is like, again, no one's blowing their cover at this point, right? No one said like, oh, I'm her ex-boyfriend. No one's blowing their cover at this point. So once he stepped to my ex talking about, oh, well, you know, your sister tripping, she on her period, she's upset right now. I did say this stuff to her, but I didn't mean this stuff to her, I was just joking. He then proceeds to pull his pants up and he's like, nah, well, she said you gotta go, so get the fuck up out of here. She asked you to get your shit, we're gonna help you get your shit, we're gonna make this as peaceful as possible, but she's not comfortable with you standing right here. She's serious, she wants you to get your stuff and go. So they helped him, like he really was not trying to go nowhere. So they just then proceeded to get his shit, carry it down the hallway and out the fucking apartment, and put it like they put it in the little doorway of the apartment next door to me because it was vacant. So he put it over it. They put it over there. Because at first he was in front of my door and I was like, nah, y'all, if y'all plan on leaving me tonight, I said no, I don't want him anywhere near my door, period, point blank, right? So he's still standing outside. Like, Shashay, let me in. I'm sorry, we could talk about this, blah, 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 blah. At this point, my brother, but that is actually my ex-boyfriend, he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to stay. I'll sleep on the couch, but I'm going to stay to make sure that you're good because I don't really like what's happening, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. Like, I fuck with that. Thank you for staying because I do indeed feel unsafe as fuck. So as they were like taking his stuff out of the apartment, he then proceeds to look at me again and say, you really finna put me and my son outside in the cold? Yeah. And again, I said, not your son, but you. And then proceeded to call baby mama. I don't think I called baby mama. I think I texted her. I think I shot her a text and said, hey, I really think that you should come get your son. I just put him and dad out. Dad's being stubborn. I did tell him that baby could stay, but he didn't want baby to stay because he couldn't stay. And then mom proceeds to respond. Her response was, I don't think this is your place to be telling me what to do with my kid. Your fucking son is outside in the cold. What the fuck? Both of you bitches are delusional. Come get your kid, please and thank you. Mind you, just 3 days prior to that, mom had came out here to get her kid and he was not answering the phone. He was pretty much like holding baby hostage, would not let him talk to her, not let her see him, none of that. And she's texting and calling my phone like, hey, can I see my baby? And me, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. So I FaceTime, talk to your son, baby, because who am I? Who am I to keep you away from your son? Talk to your son. Simple. Come to find out, she was secretly telling him that I was letting her talk to the baby. And I'm like, why would you do that? I'm trying to help you. What the fuck? Weird ass. Long story short, all of them niggas was weird. All of them was weird. Probably the most traumatizing relationship I was ever in my goddamn life. And that was with my same son. And I will never do it again. He saw that my content was taken off, so he wanted to be a part of my content so fucking bad. So we made a little couples page, right?
She doing a couples page as well.
I personally wasn't posting anything on that couples page because I didn't really give a fuck. I knew that I was going to self-sabotage at some point. Because that was my plan, to self-sabotage. Because I didn't really like this nigga. I was going to self-sabotage. So I get something said, just log onto the page, like see what's happening on that page, right? So I get on that page and I wish that actually I'm going to see if the page is still up and I'm going to put the screenshot of what I'm talking about in the video. But I go to the page and why is there a video of him like literally sitting on my fucking living room floor crying, talking about after 2 months it's over and she put me out and she broke my heart. And I'm like, sir, you gonna tell these people that you accused me of cheating? I was a lying, cheating, fat, funky bitch. You gonna tell them? You gonna tell them? Cause I'ma tell them. And I learned my lesson. I will never, ever, never, ever, never date another fucking Aquarius.
Aquarius. See, that's what be wrong with people. Y'all be blaming stuff on zodiac. So I would never ever date an Aquarius. You let a homeless dude you didn't know more. You talking about Aquarius? You need to reevaluate your life decisions. That ain't got nothing to do with the zodiacs, bro. It's your decision making. Straight up. Like, hey, I'm done, but hey, tell me what y'all think about that video in the comments, man. See you guys next video. Always remember what they said about that kings and queens. Let's get it.